Okay, it's Wednesday, December 15th. I just wanted to follow up on CrowdStruck. In the last video, price, we had entered here and price was moving up nicely, and I kind of drew these two lines as targets. The tricky thing today was it was Fed day. The Fed was making an announcement, and that's why a lot of stocks that started up and had good patterns kind of just tapered off a little bit. And CrowdStrike was one of the ones that held the close of yesterday, and then eventually headed up. So the main thing I wanted to mention was that you could have easily broken even on this trade, frustrated a little bit that it didn't go up, and there was a re-entry here, after the announcement, especially. But the main thing was, I think this was a little bit of artificial, action here, given the waiting for the Fed announcement. And the target was what we were really looking for once the day started strong and you kind of held the midpoint of that day. And you could see we did reach those two targets, and then it eventually exploded through. The interesting thing, and this is what I want to show you, when you have these targets, note the way it paused here for almost an hour, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 bars. So that's, it's a target, but it's also a pause area. That's what a lot of those prior pivots are. And that's, when we go back to the chart, you see those pivots, it's going to come up that you got to expect a pause. But then the question is, do you kind of just hold comfortably? If you do, you can see here for 2 bars was holding the midpoint of this prior bar. So that was sort of an indication you're going to, the selling, the sellers aren't really aggressive up here, and they're trying to wait for higher prices. So just wanted to point that out. The targets are definitely a good place to take profits, and you often get pauses in that area. But how it pauses and how it sells off is the next step, as to do we continue higher or not. So anyway, just wanted to follow up because I just think the context was there to always take these targets out. Unfortunately, you had a Fed day in here, that just a lot of stocks that had nice opening patterns kind of sold off a little bit, and then they resumed higher by the end of the day. But this was always, the anticipated move in terms of big picture context.